Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another 24/7 news report. The headline news today comes from Paul Joyce, and it's that Jared Branthwaite is set to sign a new 5-year contract at Everton. This is also followed up by Alan Myers, who said Jared Branthwaite is close to signing a new long-term Everton contract. There are just a few final elements to agree on, but he's expected to sign a new contract next week. This is probably better than any transfer news we could get. I genuinely believe Jared Branthwaite is one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League in total. Both-footed, tall, strong, still getting better. Should be starting for England at the next World Cup, and hopefully if we can have a good season he will be. But this is fantastic news, because now it's as simple as, I think his current contract ran out in 27. This would add for a year, so I think it would go to 2030. All of a sudden now we're well within our rights to ask for 80 million plus if anyone wants him, because he's under contract with us. He clearly believes in the project as well, which is really good to see. I think it's absolutely fantastic news overall. We all know how good Branthwaite is, so I'm not going to sit here and waffle on about him. But it's probably some of the best news we could have got. Hopefully now we can get a thing with Idrissa Gueye done anytime soon now, which would be fantastic. And if that is possible, then I think we're in a really, really good position for the future, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, you need to keep US players around, and that's currently what we're doing, which is a really good sign for the club, because I think it shows the intent of the owners, and it shows that there's a project to believe in if some of our better players who could probably move for European competition are willing to stay at the club. Next, we're going to get to the little Tenno Barry saga. We've got 4 reports on the whole Barry thing. We've talked about it on multiple videos now, so again, I'm not going to delve too much into detail about the player. I'll give some basic stats that I think I can remember off the top of my head, but besides that, so the first one comes from Paul Joyce, and it's that talks with Villarreal over their striker Tenno Barry to intensify. Then Marca reported that Everton are stepping up their efforts to sign Tenno Barry. Everton are ready to raise their offer closer to the €40 million release clause. Villarreal are open to negotiations. Paddy Boyland then reported that Everton are in ongoing talks with Villarreal over striker Tenno Barry. No agreement has been reached yet. Everton want to pay a lower amount than the €40 million release clause. And the last one comes from Santi JFM, and it's that Tenno Barry wants to join Everton. Everton are confident of signing Barry in the next couple of days. All fantastic news. Young striker, really powerful, really technically gifted for his size as well. I think it was 11 goals, 4 assists in La Liga last season. Really good considering that was his first season at a top level league for a club like Villarreal. I think that's really good. Fits the mould of striker I think we like, so I think everything about the Barry deal is really good. I'm glad to see that so many people are reporting on it, because that means it's probably getting closer to becoming a thing. Hopefully we can get him for a little bit cheaper than the release clause, because at the end of the day, we're still not made of money, so any bit of penny pinching we can do is always a good thing. But yeah, I don't want to sit and talk about Barry for too long, because we've spoke about him for so long. But speaking of another contract, Paul Joyce also reported that Everton are hopeful on Idrissa Gueye signing a new contract soon. Again, really good. I think that's something we needed to get done, if I'm honest with you, because at the end of the day, it's one of those where he was arguably our best player last season, definitely had a case for it at least. So being able to get him to re-sign, even if it's only for another year or two, gives us time to scout the market for his replacement, someone who fits his playstyle, or gives a real bit more time to develop, for example. But yeah, I think it's fantastic fitting. I think losing Gueye would have been a huge problem, because I think it would have made it so we have to sign someone else, sign someone else, and then that just causes more issues than necessary, to be honest. The next bit of reporting comes from Ed Aarons, I believe, is that right? Ed Aarons from The Guardian, and it's that Everton are interested in signing Juventus player Timothy Weah. Bournemouth and Leeds also hold interest in the USA forward, who has rejected a move to Nottingham Forest. We are currently run a poll this morning on the Twitter at Everton Newsfeed if you are ever interested in voting in any of these. Timothy Weah to Everton, leave us your thoughts, which received 1,481 votes, so thank you to everyone who did vote. 62% of fans said that they would take him, 27% of fans said that they are unsure, and 11% of fans said that they would not. I covered Weah on a recent video. Really versatile player, happy to see that he has rejected the move to Forest, because I think he'd be really useful for us, even as a squad rotation option. Someone who can play at fullback, can play on the wing, is dangerous in front of goal, really good player in my opinion, and someone who I can't imagine Juventus are going to be asking a ton of money for. So yeah, I think it'd be a really good signing, and I think it's something we should definitely be considering. especially since I think we are probably a more intriguing option than Leeds, although Leeds do. Well, saying that, we have American owners now too. Bournemouth, we'll have to see, because Bournemouth are getting rid of a few players from what we've seen, so they're going to need to retool. They've got a lot of money in the bank right now due to player sales, so I think it's one where I'd like him, Everton. I think it'd be really good. The next bit of news covers another winger, and it's that Everton have made an inquiry for Lyon winger Malik Fofana. Sources have confirmed to T-Talk, though they face tough competition from other Premier League clubs for his signature, including rivals Liverpool. To be honest with you, I don't really think we have to take the Liverpool thing into too much of account. I think right now, with where they are probably going to have to sell some players to get some in. Not in terms of PSR. They're fine with the PSR, but I think they've just got so much depth in the positions, especially like left wings where there's Gakpo, Diaz, I'm trying to think, Harvey Elliott, I'm pretty sure can play out on the left wing. They've got a lot of players who can play the left wing. I think Fofana's a left winger, but even on the right wing, they've got Salah. You're not starting over Salah, so I think Fofana is going to want to move to a club where he can start. But of course, Liverpool promises Champions League football. I believe they wanted around €40 million for him before now. Due to the relegation to League 2, I think that's going to get slashed quite considerably because they're going to have to bring in as much money as possible. So I don't really think they're going to be in the position to be stingy on the prices. Fofana's not going to want to play in League 2, so I think it's one of those where. This is an interesting one. It's one I'd be really happy around. He only just turned 20 like 2 or 3 months ago. Really good player, really good in front of goal. 5 goals, 4 assists in 29 league games, but he did only play 1,600 minutes, which is really limited time considering you see some players playing 3,000 minutes in a season. So in really limited minutes, he was able to, get a lot of contributions, and then 6 goals and 1 assist in 10 Europa League games. An absolutely fantastic player. Dribbling numbers are through the roof. Looks like a natural goal scorer on his underlying numbers as well. And as I mentioned, probably available for cheaper due to their relegation. Something we should definitely be considering. I think that'd be an absolutely fantastic bit of business from us, if I'm being honest. The last bit of news, anyway, the last bit of rumour news, is that Championship sides are interested in signing Everton under-21 striker Martin Sheriff permanently. Clubs in League 1 and League 2 are interested in a loan deal, and that comes from lower tiers on Twitter. Sheriff's an interesting one. I know he had a lot of hype in the academy, which has seemed to die down a little bit, which is unfortunate. I do think we should be looking at loaning him out. I think he's still a talented player who could offer something in the future, but we do have quite a lot of strikers in the books right now, including a young striker who we signed in Chimity, who the club seem to have a lot of faith in. A lot of it depends on the fee involved, but I think we should be looking at a loan to League 1 maybe, and then if we can't see a pathway to the future, then maybe selling him to the Championship for a little more than we could have got in the first place. But it's an interesting one. We'll have to see what comes out about that in the future, especially considering I believe we were planning on loaning Yusuf Chimity to Stoke, but we haven't really seen that develop yet. And the last bit of confirmed news is that Seamus Coleman has signed a new contract at Everton, thankfully. Glad to see that. He's probably going to be finishing his career at the club. I think that's the right move to make from everyone involved, to be honest with you. But that is all for this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed, and follow myself on Twitter at CallumBrannan3. And I'll see you all for the next video and or live stream that I am on.